Hi, and welcome to November Stamping. Our first card will be using the new Curvy Christmas stamp and dies along with the jar punch. Love the curves here. These are part of the Curvy bundle. You get the Quite Curvy set. And if you take advantage of the pre-order, you will also receive this Curvy Christmas stamp set. All right, let's start with the card. What I found on the curves is that it is easier if you go ahead and stamp first, and then you'll know where to place your die to match your die to the curve of the die to the curve of the stamp. It's not necessarily necessary that they match, but if you want them to match, I would go ahead and stamp first. I did find using the Stamparatus and a half sheet of Whisper White cardstock, I could get several sentiments for cards. Please apologize, or I'm sorry, I apologize for that Stamparatus. It's a mess. It sees some use. I used Wishing You the Happiest of Birthdays on the cards I've already made. I think I'll use Thinking of You Makes My Day just to try something different. You can see my stamps are already being used in this set. So I'm just going to center this side to side. Just eyeball it. I'm going to stamp several images down the paper. I'll start here. Load it onto the top plate. Ink it up. I'm using Shaded Spruce, which coordinates with the Curvy Christmas paper pack, 6x6. Cherry Cobbler, Shaded Spruce, and Sahara Sand. I'll just stamp this across here. Let me re-ink my stamp. And this time I'll move the stamped image down 2 spaces and stamp again. Re-ink. I will move my top plate down 2 more spaces So I'm now 4 spaces down. And I have 3 images so far on my cardstock. Now I'll simply turn the paper around. I will place it down a little bit. I thought I placed it down a little bit. Maybe I didn't. Yep, it looks like that'll be okay. Depending on where you stamp, you may need to move your cardstock down just a little bit, maybe ½ inch down from the top of the stamparatus. In this case, it wasn't necessary. I'm sorry, my light's showing there. Once the stamparatus is out of the way, that won't show. Okay, so I've been able to get 4 stamped images on 1/2 sheet of cardstock. I don't remember. I think I cut next. So I'm going to die cut now. You have a choice of edges. I do like this plain edge with the polka dots. Excuse me. The wind is blowing in Oklahoma. I think I'm looking for my big shot at this point. Now I'm looking for washi tape, which is on the other side of the table. How about some alpacas? Aren't they cute? You never know what you find in my washi tape drawer. Okay, you'll place this die. I do want to remind you on the die to check where the cut edge is. But I'm going to tape this down before I remember to show you where the cut edge is. You will need to pay attention to the cut edge because you want to put the polka dots between the stamped image and the sentiment. So do you see that right edge is where it will cut? So you want the polka dots with the sentiment. So you do need to just take a quick peek at the underside of your die and make sure you're cutting the way you intend to cut. Okay. I use a little different sandwich. It's my magnetic platform with a self-healing mat. I think that's tab 1 under there. Clear plate on top. I'm still using my old die cut machine. I'll have to switch over and get a new one soon, but I haven't done it yet. Now at this point I'm thinking that my tab 2 is too thick, but it's not. I think the next one I'll try tab 1 and I go back to tab 2. Okay, and watch how cute this is. Look at this. Pull your die away. You can, I just discard this piece. Look at that. How fun. So do you see all the little spots on my self-healing mat? You will want to remove those. If you don't, they will make an impression, they will make an embossed impression on your cardstock. I'm looking for tab 1 at the moment. Which ends up being not thick enough. I need tab 2. And here I am. I'm going to remove these. And I probably, on these center sentiments, I probably don't need washi tape. I think the die will stick to my paper okay. The magnets are stronger through the center. Now here I put this through, but tab 1 is too not strong enough. That didn't even cut. So I'm putting tab 2 back. Oops, sorry for the shaking. My table has a slick surface on it. And that pad, my grid paper pad, is not enough to keep things from moving. And here we go, that's the first one, and now I'll just slide the die down. And cut again. Ooh, gets tough through the middle. Gracious. And then one more. I've got to remove some of these little dingleberries though. Here we go. You can tell my self-healing mat has seen better days. Okay, turn this around. Make sure my cut edge is where I want it to be. In this case, I want the dots between my cut edge and my sentiments. Run it through the big shot one more time. can move that out of the way. Move the plates out of the way. And next, I believe I need to trim I'll put my die up so I don't lose it. Then I need to trim. My blades need to be replaced on my scoreboard. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this here or if I'm going to switch to a guillotine cutter. I think I used that one. Okay, good. And I'm just cutting these roughly here. I will trim them to match a card once I have the card in front of me. Right now I'm just looking for straight edges. Okay, and I was able to get that. Move these out of the way. Discard my trash. And look at that. You have 4 sentiments ready for a card. That was pretty painless. Okay, next I need to show you how to do these leaves. I've already cut several of the birds out to save time. Put those to the side, but I do need to show you how to do the leaves on this die. So to control the chaos here, I just take a strip of shaded spruce cardstock and I take some foam tape that I purchased online. Put the foam tape onto the shaded spruce scrapling. And then now I'm looking for my leaf die. Here it is. Okay, look at those beautiful leaves. I'm sorry, they don't quite come into focus, do they? And you can tell I've already cut several strips of these. Stamp Club, you'll get a whole strip of leaves in your kits this month. These are so beautiful. They're fun for decorating. Let me roll this through my big shot. And hopefully that's the last we'll see of this crazy machine in the camera. I'm sorry, it shook again. I'll figure that out eventually. I just haven't yet. All right, move those plates out of the way. And then watch this magic right here. All those leaves are contained. You don't have leaves all over the place because they're stuck to the foam tape. Looks like I have a couple of leaves still in the die. So let me get my poke tool and I will just pop those out of the die and put them right back into the leaf template. Okay, now I have a whole string of leaves ready to embellish my projects. Put this out of the way before I hurt myself. Okay, now we can start building our card. I used a cherry cobbler cardstock, a half a sheet, scored in the half, top folded. I've got a piece of shaded spruce cardstock, 5 3/8 long, 4 1/8 high. I've got a 5 1/4 by 4-inch piece of cherry cobbler cardstock that I have put through the tin tile embossing folder. Such a fabulous folder. And that provides a little background interest for my card. Okay, I think I'm going to show you how to run this through. It looks like I'm going to use tab 1, the magnetic plate. No, I'm not going to use the magnetic plate. I'm going to put the regular plate in, not the magnetic plate. My folder, I line my cardstock up along the black line on the embossing folder to make sure that I have a straight edge. And that's it. Do I put a top on? Oh, looks like I put the sparkle plate up at the top, which is just equivalent to your clear acrylic plate. So I have tab 1, the regular plate, the embossing folder with the paper, and the sparkle plate on the top. And the sparkle plate is equal to just your clear acrylic plate. It just sparkles. And there you go. Perfect. So when I get my new machine, I'll have to make new sandwiches for everything. All of my folders. It seems like every folder has its own sandwich. So it's like a surprise. What will I need today? Okay. Looks like I'm looking for something. You see my flower shirt pop in there. I'm going to try the glue, and my glue is weird. The cap got stuck, so I tried to wash the glue out of the cap, and I got water in my glue, so now I've got a hot mess. That's not going to work. So I get the other one, and that's not working at all. That one probably still has glue stuck in it. I feel like these glue problems only happen to me. I think I've got a clear, here we go, some clear Tombow. Okay. Attach the first layer, panel 1, and our embossing layer adds visual interest. And I'm just making sure everything is centered as best as I can center it here. And I forgot to trim down my sentiments before I glued my card together. So I need to trim just a little bit off the edge. Now I've got to eyeball it. And I think I'm going to bring in my paper cutter But I think I'm going to switch over to a guillotine cutter just to get a cleaner cut. Everything needs to be changed out on this cutter, and I just haven't done that. No, it's not going to do that little bitty piece. It's not going to do it. That's all right. Guillotine to the rescue. This one you can see has also gotten its fair share of use. I'm sorry, I don't have any new. None of my tools are brand new. I use everything. Okay, now I'm all set. Now I got to make sure this fits on here. And I think I ended up trimming too much. Or did it work? I think I switched it out. Yeah, I switched it out. Sorry, let me trim a little bit more. Just start with the guillotine here and take care of business. There we go. Look at that. That should be exactly 5 1/4 inches wide. Yep. Look at me, I'm gonna do it again. Good gracious. One of them will work. They're all fine. I can be too picky at times. Yep, now I'm going to go with this one. Now I'm going to have to add a lot of extra leaves because I've got a lot of extra space on this one. Alright, let me trim a little bit more down. Oh, I'm finally happy. Alright, here we go. Let's get this glue applied. Lay everything flat. That is the thing with the clear glue. It's not as fast of a grab as the white glue. So let me make sure that's attached well. And I believe now it's time to do the jars. So club members, you'll have strips of paper like this. And we will just use that jar punch again. This is the Christmas paper. I mean, seriously, how sweet is that? Perfect for traditional card making. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to pop out my jars here. And to do the lids, just punch the top. And swap out the colors. Just to keep things interesting, I've got 2 jars that I'm placing closer together, and then the third jar a little bit separate. You could put 3 across your card evenly. Sometimes I find it's easier to not try to keep things even, to avoid having to make sure the spaces are all the same. So I'll put these 2 relatively close together, and then I have to move them up a little bit because the curve on my sentiment is a little higher than on my sample card. Let me just scoot this up a little bit. And again, like I said, with the clear glue, it's not fast grab. So you do have time to move things around. You do need to make sure that those are stuck down though. Okay, and put this third jar just over a little bit, and then we don't have to worry about same spaces. Okay, and I'm just attaching my jar lids. Okay, our card is coming along. Looks like I'm adding the birds next. Those birds were all the same. So I need to reach over in my little box And pull my other birds out. Are these not the sweetest little birds? So I'm going to put 2 birds up on dimensionals, the 2 on the red and green jars, and then the bird on the Sahara sand jar, I just adhere with glue directly to the jar. The tool helps tremendously with dimensionals and placing smaller objects. Alright, I'm going to slide the dimensionals out of the way. Suddenly the glue works, except it blobbed. So let me get the excess off. I think that's okay. Now I can just set him directly onto the jar. Then you have some dimension, some added dimension, because you have 2 birds up and one set back a little bit. Alright, now I need to add my leaves. I've got more space for leaves here, so I can add a few more. I should have kept my leaves more in line with the curve of the sentiment, but I think at this point I was just trying to get the leaves onto the card. These are really fun. Such a fun addition, and to have them up on the foam tape like that. Great embellishments. It'd be fun to cut some in different colors. Cut some red, yellow, and maybe cinnamon cider leaves and mix them up. Make a pretty fall card with the tree stamp. So many possibilities. I'm loving Curvy Bundle. Okay, that's cute. I think I could work on that leaf placement a little bit, but it's fine. We need a bow now. Just pull a piece of crochet thread. Nothing fancy. Hopefully I'll tie the bow in the camera. No, I didn't. Oh, there I go. Okay. Just make 2 ears. Wrap them around each other. Tighten them. Pull the tails and tighten. Until I have my bows roughly the same size. My little ears. I'll play with them. I get picky. Okay, now I'm going to try to get them the same size by putting them on my finger. And now let's try to curl these ends a little bit. This is just plain crochet thread. Comes on a roll. And then I think I'm going to nip the ends off a little bit. And then I will just use a glue dot to attach my bow to my jar. Of course, it would be cute to have a bow on each of the jars, but I think it was too overwhelming for the card. So we will just place one over here on the left. I had to roll the glue dot on my finger a little bit so that it would fit behind the knot. And then we'll just place it there. And here I'm just making sure the glue dot isn't sticking out. Okay. Fix my little ears. Oh, how sweet. How sweet. What a great, great bundle. Oh, I love it. I hope you do too. I hope you enjoyed this longer video, all in real time. I'll work through everything, so thank you for sticking with me. Bye.